Hello, everybody. I would like to thank everybody for coming to this meeting, online conference about customer service. My name is Victor.
I'm
Hello,
Ewout.
I'm Dries.
I'm Boris.
And I'm Robbe.
Okay, so everybody introduce themselves, and I would like to start off this meeting by introducing the topic. So I would like to ask you guys to define customer service. What does customer service mean to you?
For me, customer service means going that extra mile for the customer and making sure they feel appreciated and comfortable, and making sure they feel comfortable in going to your stores and purchasing the products.
Yes. Somebody else who has another definition?
Yeah, I also have a similar definition, but think for me also customer service is like so that the customer is satisfied with your product, and if they have problems that you can help them as good as possible.
Okay. I think that so to conclude is like the main interest of customer support, customer service to the conflict of resolution, to trying to resolve a conflict that is happening or to not have the conflict happen at all, to make the customer feel like nothing has happened at all. Okay. But
Well, I
let's
think it's also like having experience with your products and being able to help the customers to make the best choices for them. And a good example is like to spend a few minutes each month or each week looking at the newest products to make sure you are fully aware of their benefits, and thus you're able to make well-informed recommendations to the customers.
Yes, very good topic. Very good, Dries. So, but let's say the customer service isn't that great. Are there any ways to improve the customer service? What do you guys think?
So yeah, as I've mentioned before, knowing your product because it's essential. It's an essential customer service skill. Um, and in an ideal world, you should believe in your product and be able to discuss the features and use them in an understanding way. And in that way, you can show the customers how the product can help them. And you can also do that by maintaining a positive attitude, because I think that attitude is everything. It goes a long way in providing good customer service. So also when contacting them, you don't need to be afraid to use emojis to convey warmth and good humor, or pick up the phone if you find an email or that conversations getting tense or something like that. And also like when there is a problem, you can solve it in a creative way. Um, and then another one, the last one, is to respond quickly to your customers, because time is everything for them. So it's also important, I think.
Yes, I can agree with Dries, because it's very important to train the frontline staff, because this is the staff that is actually the face of the company, which is in contact with the customer.
Okay. Would anybody introduce, for example, a training program, like all of the staff would go to a place in the office and have some sort of training in order to provide better customer service? Would anybody opt for that solution?
Yeah, definitely.
And what would
Training.
the key points to focus on?
I think positivity and empathy, because like positivity, it's important that your team is serving the customers via social media, email, chat, or the phone. So it's definitely important to train them to replace the negative words with positive ones.
Mhm.
Um, and there I have a training exercise ID, so you could ask them to write down 5 to 10 negative customer service responses, and then ask them to rewrite them as positive statements. And then the empathy is, I think it's a good idea to encourage your customer service team to spend time with people who are different than them. So, because I'm convinced that a conversation outside their comfort zones can help them to increase their empathy, and it can broaden their minds, their ideas. So you could tell them to think about a time where they were a customer and might have had a bad experience. So you can ask them to tell that story to other people, and then to find a solution together.
Okay, thank you, Dries. So let's say like you've implemented the training program, and now you want to see what the customers think about it, how good your staff has been educated. So you definitely opt for like feedback, but how would you receive the feedback? Via what technology would you go? Email, phone, web chat, something different? Any options?
Personally, I would use email, as this is a way you make sure that every customer gets a formula to give feedback to the company, and that you don't have to call all the customers and maybe by mistake call them twice, and then the customers get irritated and feel not really comfortable anymore giving the feedback to the company.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. But I also think that over the phone is more personal. Web chat also.
Yes.
I would also obtain for email, because I think it's one of the most valuable ways to gather an honest customer feedback. But I think that when you use email, that there are 3 main elements that you should focus on for a good feedback. And the first point is to assuring customers of a speedy response, because it's important that they know that you're thinking about them, and that your response is fast. And then the second one is creating an organized customer feedback system, and the last one is to send follow-up emails, because it's important to encourage your customers to keep informed.
Yes, I also think that implementing like a survey could be very useful. You could like send a survey to most customers. They'd quickly just fill in some points, and then they'd hand it in, instead of an email. You have to like open every single email. But of course, it's still more personal, and also calling is a lot more personal. You're like almost face to face with the consumer, and that's something that a survey doesn't have. So there are a lot of good options.
Yeah, with one of my sources, actually, HubSpot mentioned that like the frontline employees that are actually in the store when the customer makes a purchase are also a very important factor, because they can ask the customer what do they think of the product, how do they feel about it, and that's actually also the first way to get live feedback, you may say, from the customer itself, and then they could improve actually immediately. If they see that one product isn't really selling as good as they anticipated, they could maybe take it out of the store, and that's also a way of customer service, I believe. Getting the best product in your store.
Very good points. But now that you have gotten all the feedback, how will you handle it? Will you put a lot of effort in it? Just look at it. What would you like to do with the feedback you have received?
I would definitely put a lot of time and effort in it, and because I believe it's worthwhile investing in this feedback, because your customer took also time in giving this feedback to you. So we may say that it's very interesting to see what the customer likes and dislikes, so that we can make adjustments to improve our customer service even more.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I also think it's important to listen to the feedback, because if they aren't happy with our customer service, then if we improve it, maybe we will keep them as customers, and for the future it will be good for the company also.
Okay.
And also, when we see that we get a lot of positive feedback, we can maybe link this to our revenues, because one of my sources mentioned when your customers are more happy, then they will spread the word to their friends and family. So this would normally have an influence on your overall turnover and revenues. So then we can see how much influence it actually has.
Okay. And also from a survey, stated that dissatisfied customers typically share their experience with 8 to 10 people. So you always have to try to make the customer not feel dissatisfied. Okay, now moving on to a different topic about customer service. So a lot of businesses are dealing with similar goods and offering the same service. Generally, clients will view a business with excellent customer service as superior from the rest. Customer service is what makes businesses stand out from its competitors. How will you differentiate yourself from the competition as far as customer service?
I think, yeah, you can start.
I would just, I would say that we have to be friendly at all times towards our customers, even though they don't make a purchase, because customer service is about giving the service already, even before a purchase is made. So I would believe that we have to really focus on the feeling that the customer has. So maybe Dries, you would like to add something to it?
Yeah, I think that if customer service is indeed the key differentiator, then I think that the starting point for any business has to be a clear vision of what they want their customers to experience, like a clear strategy. Because without that, without a vision, I think any customer service strategy is likely to be seen as yet another normal, boring customer service strategy. So it definitely need to be interacting. And I think that it's also important to mention that after all, it's not only the frontline staff that directly delivers the customer experience, but it is every member of the staff who is ultimately responsible. So I think that's why the entire organization needs to understand, to support, and also deliver the customer focused.
Yes, very good. Anybody else would like to add something?
Yeah, I believe that it are the small things that make a big difference. I would propose, for example, it's just a proposal. So, for example, sending a birthday card to the customer when they are on their birthday. Excuse me. There are these small things that really make a difference, and the customer.
It's also very personal. It's also very personal to interact with the customer.
Yeah. And that's also something that they could use when asking for their feedback or sending an email. Just don't put "Dear Sir" or just put the customer's name there. So
yeah, it's also important.
And it's just that one little thing that could make a world of difference.
Yes.
Yep.
For me, the best customer service, the way to differentiate yourself is to have as fast as possible, as convenient as possible, and as personal as possible.
Yeah.
To have those
definitely personal.
Yes, to have those three things would be amazing, but also difficult to achieve. but if you have those, I think that you're able to put yourself a lot above the competition.
Yeah. For example, Bol.com is one of the companies that's really good at this customer service.
Yeah, also like Coolblue. I needed a charger for my phone, but the cable didn't work. So they said to me, you don't need to send it back. You can keep the thing that. So the cable didn't work, but the thing for in the you put in
The plug did
the
work.
plug, it still worked. So they said you can keep it, and we will send you a new one. So I thought, well, this is really good customer service because I didn't need to go out to send it back, and they just we'll send it tomorrow. You have it. So that was nice.
So that was like an example of very good customer service. Did you ever have bad experiences with customer service?
I had a few times where you just get called by a company, and after a few times you just get bored of it. Yeah, you really don't want to answer, but they do insist of answering. So I don't think this is the way to go.
And what would you like propose to the company as a solution for them?
I mean, you could call the customer, but if they don't answer or they don't want to, we could maybe send an email or something.
Maybe to touch up on what Robbe said. For example, that's something that I seen that other companies do. They maybe just send a text 5 minutes in advance, like, "Hey, we are going to call you today at this hour. Is that convenient for you?" So that's like giving a heads up. Are you available or not? If not, yeah, please let us know.
Okay, yes, very good.
For me, the best customer service I've ever received is Apple, because like the software that they use is just the best software, and it's not disadvantaged with viruses and stuff. So like in other operating systems.
Also, for me personally, it was really a service that was provided to me. It was with Randstad when I was applying for a job during the holidays, and they were like, "Really, when can you come? Is this convenient for you? How can we make sure that you feel comfortable in the company?" And also, the way of communicating, it was it was a mix between formal and informal, but it was a pleasant, informal way of communicating. And that's one of the things that really stuck with me, that they really put a lot of effort in their customer service. And I believe it also pays off.
There are a lot of good examples about good and bad customer service. Now, there's also a difference between customer support and customer service. Is there anyone who would like to explain the difference between those two?
Well, customer support is really when one of your products breaks down or you have trouble with them, then you can call them up and ask them what you should do or how you should do it. And it's really focused mainly on the product itself. And customer service is about the experience you give to the customer and to make them feel comfortable.
Yes.
Yep.
So like customer service is more like adding value to the customer.
Yeah.
The experience. Okay. Anyone else?
No.
I think that was it.
Okay. So what do you guys think is the most important touch point for customers? Touch point, I mean, before purchase, during a purchase, or after?
I think after, because then you can receive the feedback as we discussed a few minutes ago. So yeah, I would choose for a touch point after.
I believe that all the three points are relevant because one of my definitions stated that customer service is the service the company and its employees strive to provide to the customers even before a purchase is made, and when the purchase is made, we also continue to provide a service. And after the purchase, we also continue by asking how is the product? Do you like it, or do you have any remarks? So I believe all the three phases are relevant.
I also think actually after is the most important thing, because there there are things that can go wrong, but it's in the after you can fix those problems. If you bought something, but yeah, you still need to go after you bought something to fix the problem with the customer service. So, and if it went well, then the customer is satisfied, so then the company is also satisfied.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the most important two are before and during the purchase, because that's when the client is about to go and do the purchase, because then you haven't yet received like any money. So that's when it's very important to add extra value to the customer service to make sure everything is okay always. But of course, after the purchase, it's also very important to keep in touch with the clients. To, of course, as Ewout said, look if the product is working well, and maybe even send more emails about new products so the customers could buy a new product and different things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say a customer has worked with multiple people and different touch points, so via social media, in the store, and other places, but he still can't not be helped. How would you help that person or make it the shopping experience more better for that person?
Could you maybe repeat that question?
So a customer has some problems, and he has worked with multiple people at multiple different touch points. So he has asked things via social media and in the store, but he has still troubles with his shopping. Are there any options you would choose to help the customer?
I would maybe with one specific person, with this customer, to make sure that there's a really a real-time connection between them, so they can really work with each other and work together to find a solution to the problem. That would be one of the options that I would do.
It's easier over the phone, so just have a number available that the client can always call with any problem.
Yes. Okay. So how would you, so let's say a customer has bought something, he's not happy with the product, or there might be a major problem with the product without a lot of customers knowing it. How would you tell it to the customers? How would you address the problem or help the problem?
Yes, so I would address the problem via mail, because it's if you have the mail is very easy, and I don't choose for the phone because sometimes the customers don't have the time. So if you call them, maybe you disturb them. So it's more easy to explain a problem in the mail, and then also add the number from if you have more questions or you need more explanation, then call us and we will give you the explanation when you have time.
Yeah, I would also prefer email to notify the customers of the problem that we are having. Like for example, some big companies did it, like Apple, or when they had a problem with their phones or software when there was a bug. So it's also the easiest way to make sure that everybody gets it. When you have to start calling up all these different people, it takes up a lot of time and money and effort. But actually, when you send an email, it could be basically one person notifying hundreds or millions of people.
Okay, yes. So the best way to do that is, of course, via email. So those are all my questions. I would like to finalize. We can say that making customer service very personal is very important. Making it very fast is also very important. to have a good and well-functioning customer service. Are there any other points you guys would like to add?
That the entire company needs to be involved in the process.
Yes.
So not only the most important people like the CEOs or another manager, but everyone needs to be involved in the process.
Yeah, I would also like to mention something. For example, customer retention is far more cheaper than customer acquisition. For example, when you would have an increase of customer retention of 5%, this could lead to an increase in profit of around 25%. So it's far more important to really keep your customers that you have and continue working with them, because this will eventually increase your profit margins.
Okay. Yes. Is anybody else would like to add something?
I would say a broad knowledge about the product and the company is really necessary for a good customer service.
Okay, of course. And also making something with the feedback, using the feedback and
Using surveys, etc.
yes. Great.
Okay.
And also one thing that we probably all feel the same way about, that is customer service should be your core business, and that it should be more important to invest a little bit more in customer service, in your customer service department than, for example, in HR or sales, because the customer, that's what it's all about.
Okay, yes. Then that's everything. I would like to thank everybody for coming to this meeting.
Yes.
You all for joining and talking about the customer service.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.